On January 17th, 2013, Judge Clark Waddup recessed to make a decision whether or not to decriminalize polygamy in the state of Utah. Shows like Sister Wives, Love's Times 3, and Big Love have lulled the public into thinking that polygamy is wonderful. But the inside track tells quite another story. Polygamists don't want polygamy legalized, they want it decriminalized so there are no charges brought against them for the numerous families they create, the children that never get an education, health benefits, or even a dad. If polygamy were legalized, they would have to be financially responsible for the huge families they create. Right now, those families are primarily, but not always, supported by working wives, working children, and various forms of tax dollars from the United States government. Yes, you support polygamy for the most part. There are very few exceptions. If polygamy were legalized, the men would have to be responsible for the wives and the children, the numerous and huge families they create. Right now, the way they survive is through making the wives work and the children work and collecting any and all taxpayers' dollars that they can. Yes, there are exceptions to the rule, but that's the way the larger number of them survive. Those at the top that have authority can collect tithing and free labor from those underneath them. But polygamy at large, wherever it is in the world, does create poverty. These statistics can be found on a website called Stop Polygamy in Canada. Look at the official professional reports from around the world. Utah's polygamists can see that Texas has acted differently. They are currently in the process of attempting to dissolve the huge FLDS ranch belonging to Warren Jeffs and give it back to the victims that he took advantage of in the name of religion, God, and polygamy. Utah polygamists want to prevent this from happening to them. Currently, child support charges can be filed against the father. However, they are non-collectible if he can prove he has enough children that by the time she collects, it is so little the paperwork to collect it costs more than she's going to get. Or, more often and more common, his monies are held in another entity, another name, such as a ranch, a business, or the leader of the cult himself. This makes the money non-collectible. The decriminalization of polygamy has nothing to do with sexual choices and everything to do with an escape from responsibility for one's behavior. Polygamists blame Abraham, King David, and early Mormonism, somebody who lived 2,000 or 150 years before they were born, for their own current behavior today. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, modern Mormonism, believes in a second article of faith, which states that man shall be punished for his own sins, not Adam's transgressions. Current Mormons believe in a modern-day prophet. Polygamist men today prefer the polygamy of Brigham Young and their own individual prophets. Yes, you can spell that both ways. It works for them. Their prophets haul in the prophets. Modern-day Mormons also believe in the biblical quote that a man who will not support his families is worse than an infidel. Polygamists don't. These fundamental polygamists are brazenly blaming a church they themselves admit they don't even belong to. If the taxpayers and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints willingly accept the responsibility that's about to be foisted upon them, polygamists once again will brag about the tail wagging the dog. They claim to be the ultimate authority, the only authority that God has on this earth, above and beyond the Mormon Church, which they claim is in a state of apostasy. If decriminalizing polygamy turns out to be acceptable, what will that do with modern marriage as we see it today? With legal marriage as we see it today? Will legal wives have any recourse? Will they have any rights? Will they have any reason to get married? If marriage has no validity, no responsibility, and no concern for what it creates, will that throw us back in the Dark Ages? Men and women alike must look at each other and realize that this effect, if it goes through, according to Judge Waddup, will be a final decision. I'm asking you, will the loss of your rights be a final decision? Will the loss of protection of your children be a final decision? In or out of polygamy, this affects you, America. Speak now.